Hello, and welcome to the Real Football Fans of New Jersey. This is episode 130. Wow, rack them up. Literally, we just keep tacking them on.
Celebrated that 100th episode right before COVID and the pandemic hit, and now 30 episodes later.
Where has the time gone?
I don't know.
Right?
I think people are okay with 2020 hurrying its way up.
But the next time we talk, we'll be at like our 200th episode. And we'll have another party. It's going to be phenomenal. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. Super, super excited to be here. We're going to give you all the things football, all the things housewives. Yes. We're drinking wine. We hope you're drinking your wine right now. We asked you guys to ask us questions this week. Right. So we got a boatload of questions. Thank you guys so much. So here are the ones that we selected. So let's get right into it. Yep. So the first question, not wine related actually, but beer related. It's very festive right now. What are your top 5 pumpkin beers?
A
tough one.
I don't know if I have 5 off the top of my head. That's a lot, but I can definitely give you 3 that I'm liking.
Okay.
One of my favorite beers of all time ever is Traveler's Jacko Traveler Pumpkin Shandy. Have not seen it in stores anywhere. So if anybody has a store that they're selling it, let me know. I will drive whatever distance because I'm really craving it and missing it. Shipyard, I like their pumpkin beer. And recently we discovered Sam Adams has a limited release pumpkin ale. Obviously,
they call it like Jacko too.
Obviously different. They have their Oktoberfest, but they have this pumpkin ale right now. And I'm not a huge Sam Adams girl, but this is a really, really, delicious, really good pumpkin beer. I highly recommend it.
So I 100% agree with you on those 3. I think I would give Shipyard's Pumpkinhead push it out a little bit more.
Shipyard has to be in a pint glass with cinnamon around the
really
rim.
cold. So I might push that one out a little bit. I love Pumpkin by Southern Tier. It's one of my favorites.
It's a popular one.
And I'm trying to think of Line and Kugel, their Pumpkin Harvest. It's very, very good.
That could have been in my top 5.
And then also River Horse makes an excellent pumpkin beer too, but be very careful, similar to Pumpkin, very high in alcohol. They're both of them reach like upwards to 10%. So you got to be careful. Yeah.
Drink one of those.
Remember the one time we were at your house and we had and this was when you lived next door to me, and we had a bunch of the pumpkin beers. We tried them and we didn't realize the River Horse was like 12%. We had like 2 and we were like, woo, feeling the pumpkin beers tonight. But honestly, any of those are delicious. You know us, we love a good pumpkin beer paired with football. Definitely go try those.
Yes.
All right, number 2. Will Dave Gettleman get fired this season?
Probably, yeah. It just seems a little bit inevitable.
I think
you've got like when a team is this bad, like people want to point fingers and blame's got to go somewhere, and it's usually the GM or the head coach. And Joe Judge,
Reese for how long though?
Right, but like you can't fire the head coach because this is his first year, right? And especially first year head coaches this year because of COVID and not being able to like really get into the system the way a new coach would. They're not going to fire him, and somebody's going to have to take the fall, and it's going to be David Gettleman.
Yeah, so I think week 1, the loss, everyone was, putting him up and pinning him to the cross and doing all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I disagree.
Is it fair now?
I think it is fair now. I do say yes. I think the biggest thing that has turned me, though, is that they're playing a lot of stuff from when he was first hired in his first draft, going into his second draft, things like that. He's been promising to fix our offensive line for a very long time.
I know. He was going to get those hog mollies and make us that solid offensive line like we were used to having.
We need, if you're going to make decisions like that and you're going to promise something, we need to see at least this much of progress. There's no progress. Nothing.
Agreed.
Okay, number 3. Who do you believe is the best team in the NFC East?
Best is a strong word. It really shouldn't be labeled for anybody,
give it
right?
Nobody, like a pass.
I mean, I'm going to say the team that I think has the most potential and should be better. They should all be better than what they're producing right now. The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that too. And people are definitely going to continue to roll their eyes when we say that. But there's so much going into the season. So many people were high on the Cowboys, and
it's been that way for a while now. With Dak, with Zeke, with good weapons.
You have weapons. You had a good draft. I mean, a good solid point is that a lot of people feel that the draft was strong for them, but they filled positions they already had. Areas of weakness they haven't really filled yet. So maybe that's where they're kind of hitting these vulnerable spots right now. And they're not doing as best as they can. Right. But they're very similar to an Atlanta Falcons team from 2019. You had the weapons, but you're playing shitty. Yeah. What the hell is the problem?
I know. It's hard to pinpoint it, I think.
But I agree with you on that answer too. It's essentially there is no best team. That is the team that should be the best, probably. On paper, at least. Number 4, do you think the Giants would consider trading Saquon Barkley?
I'm probably going to say no because right now we have the youngest roster in the NFL. Yeah. And as funny as this is, like Saquon is the veteran presence on that team, even though he's only been in the league for a couple of years. He is a captain, and usually your quarterback's the heart and soul of your football team, but Saquon Barkley for the Giants right now is currently the heart, even though he's hurt. He is the heart and soul of the New York Giants football team, and I kind of don't see them doing that.
You got to, as much as you got to give Daniel Jones a line, you got to give Saquon Barkley a line. He's, I could see maybe, he's a slant guy, so he's doing all these crazy moves. He can powerhouse through people, but he doesn't do it all the time. And you see him you struggle right there. Right. There's a different type of running back that can just plow through people, and maybe they don't need a line. He does, and that's just how he plays. And he's going to be a lot stronger with that. We do have a comment on Instagram though that Dak's been carrying their fantasy
Dak's been
team.
playing
he's
really well.
He is. So
not knocking Dak by any means.
He had like 50 points last week, I think.
More than that, 70.
Oh, I went 1 for 3 in my, or no, 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
You're in 3 leagues.
Yeah. Trash.
The thing I want to just say though about Saquon, even though saying no, I don't think they would do it. I also want to point out the fact that I didn't think they would trade Odell Beckham Jr. I didn't think they would trade Landon Collins. So crazier things have happened. Yeah, you never know.
100%. So this is an interesting question in the world of fantasy. So should Justin Jackson, running back on the Los Angeles Rams, be picked up in fantasy leagues, around
Chargers, not the Rams.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Every time I put LA, I know. I'm too many teams. Yes. Sorry. So for the Chargers, running back for the Chargers. So should he be picked up in your fantasy league? So disclaimer right here. First of all, I didn't send in this question, but I just picked him up today, actually.
Okay.
So in a world of COVID and strange things happening, there are people that are out there that are getting chances that you may have not seen before that are actually doing pretty big things. So this kid's been doing great things week after week. I picked him up today because he was available.
I don't know if I'm looking at the wrong guy. I thought I was. You're saying he's done things week after week. I didn't know who he was, so I looked up his stats, and he hasn't done anything. I'm like, did he just have a big game?
I don't know.
He carried the ball like 2 or 3 times last game for like 8 yards, something like. He hasn't actually done it
today.
It's because Austin Eckler's hurt now, right? He's going to be out several weeks.
Yeah.
And they do believe that this kid is going to be the feature back ahead of Kelly.
Right.
But I was like, has he done something to make people already be like, I've got to pick him up? And to me, the only reason is Eckler's hurt. But I got to think that there's better options out there if you need a running back. I know he's going to be the main guy, but he's never even shown anything yet. So I'm not opposed for people picking him up, but I'd rather see how he does at least one game as the feature back because there's no stats there.
That's fair. I have him starting this weekend, so he better do big things.
All right. I hope it works out. So I have nothing to judge him on.
I know. I had to put Chubb on IR, obviously. Luckily, the fantasy league I am in allows you to put guys on IR and allows you to pull in guys. So I did put him there. So hopefully it's only a couple of weeks, but I did have to fill in the sweep spots. And my backup running back, one of my main guys was Matt Breida, and I'm not 100% confident with him. So I'm going to give this kid a chance. So, and then finally, throwing this question out there, but not very happy about it. Not well, B. How does it feel that the Eagles are in first place? I'll tell you how it feels.
It doesn't feel like anything because they're in first place with a 1-2-1 record. And everybody, we have 0 wins. Obviously, that sucks. But Washington has 1 win, Dallas has 1 win, and Philly has 1 win. So the only thing that's keeping you ahead is a tie with the Bengals.
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm not impressed, and I don't really care. It means nothing. Everybody right now considers the entire NFC East a joke, and they are. So just because you're in first place, it's like being the smartest kid at dumb camp. I don't know, whatever that saying is. You know what I mean?
It's very offensive to kids who went to dumb camp.
Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't. It's whatever at this point. So you're going to have the Eagles fans that are very similar to Cowboys fans. You get one lick of positivity and they don't shut the hell up about it.
Nobody's scared.
We ain't scared.
We ain't scared. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
I ain't afraid of no Eagles. Thanks.
All right. Well, those were our questions, right? That's all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Those were really good ones. And we're going to get into our big stories of the week now in the world of football. Wow, there is a lot to talk about. Oof. A lot of things just within the last 24 hours that we had to update our notes on. But let's start with one of the biggest stories since we last saw you guys. On Monday, the Houston Texans fired their head coach, who was also their GM, Bill O'Brien.
Let this be a lesson to you. Don't let them be the same person on your team.
Yeah, because now, right. I mean,
you're out two people.
I have never believed in that. I always think that's like a weird, odd situation. I do think you need two people filling those roles.
Because now you have a backup. And
now you're trying to fill a head coach spot and a GM spot. This is after the Texans started the season 0-4. Obviously, I know they got rid of their best player in DeAndre Hopkins, but expectations are not to be 0-4 as the Houston Texans. I don't think they're as bad as that record is. He spent 6 seasons with the team, won 4 AFC South Division titles. Associate head coach Romeo Crennel is now going to be taking over as interim head coach. He does have head coaching experience with 2 different teams. So, I mean, at least it's a good guy to fill in the meantime. The team is off to its worst start since 2008. I did see right before the show, I was watching ESPN, caught like the little blurbs at the bottom of the screen, and read that a couple of weeks before the firing of Bill O'Brien, he had gotten into a very heated argument with star player J.J. Watt, who is like the heartbeat of that team. And that's where it kind of felt like Bill O'Brien almost like lost his locker room a little bit.
And you guys know when that happens, once you lose the locker room, it's done.
I mean, that's like if we had heard that the New York Giants head coach had gotten into a heated argument with Saquon.
That's it.
Like it'd be like, okay, I think we need to move on from you because clearly you're not connecting with the most important player on the team. So I would say that had to be a huge factor in the decision. I do think it was always weird that he was given that GM spot because I do feel like he has been a head coach that's been on the hot seat season after season after season of like, do we fire him? Then he did this weird thing with DeAndre Hopkins that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I feel like this needed to happen, but I feel like it needed to happen not 4 games into the season. It should have happened either at the end of the season or it should have happened happened last year at the end of last season. So,
or at the end of last season, bring in an actual GM. So this weird DeAndre Hopkins thing may not have happened.
Right.
You can't have someone calling the plays, the shots for both areas.
I would love to like be a fly on the wall in that room when that was suggested that they get rid of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Like honestly. Who brought that up?
Whose idea was that to begin with?
Seriously.
It was terrible. We do have a little bit of an injury report. Unfortunately, we've been giving you injury reports every week now. But we did say Los Angeles Chargers running back Austin Eckler, he is going on IR with a hamstring injury. He is out for at least 1 month. If you have him in fantasy, most people, do. He was drafted. Obviously, make sure you replace him, fill that spot, Justin Jackson or somebody else. Cleveland running back Nick Chubb, we also mentioned him. You have him as well.
Blow for
placed
me.
on IR MCL injury, expected to miss roughly 6 weeks. At least it's at the beginning of the season. So people who have him in fantasy, like if you can hold on to him and think that you can survive without him for a little bit, definitely try to hold on to him if you can. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones, he was questionable going into the Monday night football game.
Week.
He's been banged up. He had missed a game. He was questionable going into the Monday night football game. He re-aggravated that hamstring injury. And so obviously people have him in fantasy. I mean, you have 3 teams. You essentially have everybody. Can we just say that?
No, I
when
don't
you have 3 teams, you have a good majority.
2 of my teams are actually very similar. I drafted very similar teams but that's because I went after who I wanted. I always have a plan. So yes, Julio is actually on my one. I don't have him on all of them. Well, I do have him on one.
Everybody needs to keep an eye out for him. My assumption is
I haven't started him once yet.
I got to think he's not playing this weekend, and I don't know if this is going to be.
I might actually I might get rid of him, to be perfectly honest. So anyone who's in my league is going to be looking out.
Trade him to someone who doesn't know what's going on or what they're doing. I don't know. And then this is crazy because we started our notes for the show yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we've been talking to you guys about the Tennessee Titans and how they had last week when we spoke with you guys, they had 8 player/personnel members of the team test positive for COVID. Obviously that pushed their game.
Yeah.
They did not play. And yesterday when we were doing the notes, we had going to report to you guys that they had 0 positive COVID tests for the second straight day and that things were on the up and up.
Yeah, everyone was up. It was
not
up.
anymore. So within the last 24 hours, now we have a list of 22 total Tennessee Titans players/personnel have tested positive for COVID. They're shut down. Obviously, they're still not practicing, but then there's also been rumors that they've been secretly meeting up outside of practice facilities,
which pisses me off.
Which is not going to be a good thing. The NFL will definitely have to crack down on that. We've got some other big name people who have tested positive. Cam Newton, New England has shut down their facility as well. I think they're not going back until tomorrow, but who knows? Maybe that could be pushed. Maybe that game won't be played because you also have Stephon Gilmore for the New England Patriots also just tested positive. You have Corey Davis is one of those big.
Patrick Mahomes' face at the end of the game. There's a picture. It's terrifying.
Well, okay, so here's the thing, though. They played KC, and so far nobody from KC has tested positive. So that's
a little scary because they obviously waited until that morning for the Pats to leave, and they waited until everyone again was tested again. Everyone came back negative, so he clearly came back negative, and it's like now why? It's just a lot of it's very confusing.
Yeah. Corey Davis is one of the big names for the Tennessee Titans that I did see was revealed. He tested positive.
I have a feeling Derrick
somebody from the Raiders tested positive. I just saw before we started. This is really
the list goes on and
it's kind of building steam.
Yeah.
And the NFL is just literally going to have to deal with this on a week by week basis.
It's a day by day.
I would say it wouldn't surprise me if that every week until the rest of the season that we have at least one game that needs to be pushed or postponed or something.
So they spoke about it. So a lot of people are feeling very strongly that in the next week or so they should just take
everybody have a bye.
Everyone have a bye. To kind of figure things out.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
It's
honestly.
not a terrible idea, but then there's also a proposal out there that, week 17, they bring on a week 17 and 18, where it's a majority of the teams
That's kind of what I thought they would do.
They're going to do something like that, and it's whether they do take a week 10 or 11 league wide bye and then add in another. It's very confusing, but you got to think about it. We do have our first bye week this week. The Lions and the Packers are on a bye this week, so we are introducing that. Maybe that will play into a positive factor. We don't know. I mean, I don't think the Titans are going to play again this week, so I think that's going to be a big question.
We'll definitely keep you guys posted. Yeah. Again, this is a week by week thing. This isn't almost like an hour by hour thing because, as we said, we were going to give you good news tonight,
and we didn't.
And things changed real quick.
Not good news.
And then something that broke also this morning. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback for the Washington football team, he sophomore quarterback. He is being benched for Kyle Allen.
Hilarious.
And Alex Smith is even going to be listed as QB2.
Look at that. Look who decided to show up late. Our third co-host. Wow. And he's leaving.
And he's already leaving.
Wow.
Bye.
We gave you a second chance. Wow, Tucker. Wow. But no surprise though with the Dwayne Haskins benching. It was.
I don't know. I'm a little surprised. I have to say he's not playing as bad as I thought. He's not playing good.
No,
but he's not playing as bad. I thought it was going to be like a train wreck.
I think they are such a train wreck, though, that they want to just see what Kyle Allen.
I got to tell you, I think the reason, and I think Ron Rivera spoke about it a little bit, I think the reason that they're doing it is because of the fact that even though they're 1-3, the NFC East is so bad and still could be won by anybody with whatever record that they are like, even though we're 1-3, like if we just change this, like maybe we could take over the division.
You drafted this kid.
That's why I don't like that.
So you're not going to put Colt McCoy in for Daniel Jones. You're not going to do that.
You just don't give up on somebody that easy. It's why the Bears have still been going up until recently with Mitchell Trubisky because you drafted him second overall. Like you have to give that player
I definitely, I'm not surprised though, because they did talk about the behind the scenes, like with Ron Rivera talking to Dwayne Haskins, and a lot of the conversations where I need to see more of a spark out of you. I need you to see you play better. And it's week after week. And
being benched.
I don't know. He didn't even have any like snaps at practice today.
Ron Rivera is a gambling man. They don't call him Riverboat Ron for nothing.
No,
so maybe it's not a popular opinion. Maybe it's not the way things are normally done, like not giving that quarterback that you drafted last year more of a chance. But he sees this division and he feels like it's anybody's for the taking right now, regardless of these horrible records. Let's give I thought Kyle Allen was phenomenal. And keep in mind, he knows how Kyle Allen can be. Absolutely. He was just with him in Carolina. So he knows what the kid's got. And maybe he's been wanting to do this.
And he's come in a very similar situation where he had to take over for, listen, he's taking over
I thought that whenever Cam got healthy, which he really didn't, I was like, and people were
Kyle Allen all the way.
I was like, no, Kyle Allen still gets the job.
We spoke about it week after week.
We did.
So I'm very interested.
I think this could be a positive thing for Washington.
For sure. All right, so obviously that was the news. Well, let's get into our week 4 thoughts. So crazy enough, we are 4 weeks into the season already. Holy moly, going into week 5.
Yeah.
Just going a blink of an eye. So the Indianapolis Colts defense allowed just 28 rushing yards in their win over Chicago.
That's insanity.
Like, holy smokes.
Wow. Yeah.
Holy smokes, Batman.
I kind of like this Colts team. I know they have moments of sketchiness, but I think they're just getting adjusted to each other.
You need those moments of sketchiness to adjust.
Yeah.
I think you need that.
I feel somewhat okay, but
you can't just come out of nowhere and be a phenomenal team.
Right.
That would be even more sketchy.
Phillip Rivers, right?
Yeah, you have it.
He's
got to do more, though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're talking about the defense right now. I think going into week 4, a lot of people were talking about how, like, well, wait a minute, he hasn't really done much. Like, I would like to see more out of him.
I agree.
Phenomenal job by the defense here.
Yes.
So I hear the fewest in a game since 2009. So good for you.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's great. Dallas QB Dak Prescott threw for 450 plus passing yards. They did lose to the Browns, though, unfortunately. It was a 49-38 loss. So it was this weekend, right off the bat, a lot of scoring right away. Yeah. 5 games, the team had 31 points.
Yes.
Big scoring week. I remember I sent that to you after, and I was like, holy shit, like 5 teams at 31 points. Like,
I watch NFL Red Zone, and obviously they always play all the touchdowns. And the guy was like,
we were watching
a lot of touchdowns.
We were watching it too. And it's just like after like the first quarter across all the teams, I was like, there's like a lot of scoring going on right now. Yeah. So definitely a heavy scoring weekend. I mean, obviously not, the Colts, they're for the defense. I'm not there. So for the 3rd straight game, though, that's an NFL record. So as much
throwing
as
for 450 more yards. Yeah.
But so Dak is pretty much earning what he wanted right now.
He's been deserving of the contract, in my opinion. Maybe his figures and numbers were a little crazy, but well, you got to pay him. You got to pay him. They've got to reach a deal.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So the Detroit Lions have now lost 6 straight games in which they led by 10 points. Listen, this was my upset this week, and they came out strong. 14-0. I snapped Katie, and I was like, here we go, my upset. Only for the New Orleans Saints to come back and beat them 35-29. So, the Lions.
But again, also not just the Lions, but is proving that I still find this New Orleans team's very sketchy.
They are.
Now.
I'm not on board with them.
I'm not sold on them.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Mr. Tom Brady threw for 5 touchdowns, and
he finally have his big game that people have been waiting for.
He's there. TBTB is there. Threw for 5 touchdowns in a 38-31 win over the Chargers. So it was definitely a close game still.
Also,
did start off with a pick.
Herbert looked nice. He's looking great.
I'm loving it. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. And then Buffalo 4-0 for the first time since 2008. You know what I have to say about this? A couple of years ago when I was all for Buffalo, I say this every week, I think. Yeah. And you made me literally look like an idiot. And now here you are.
Is that the comment? Because we hear this every week.
No, I'm going to make it every week because I'm pissed.
I mean, it was a bad pick when you said it.
No, it was not.
It was. It turned out to be very true, very opposite.
I was in and now I pulled back, and now they're all in, and I'm like, you know what? It's just unfair, but good for them. 4-0, first time since 2008. Good for her.
Good for her.
A lot of stuff going on, though. I know year after year we say it's a very interesting season. I think COVID takes the cake on this year of it being interesting, but there's so much going on week after week. There's a lot of moving parts. So, yeah, I just, I love sitting down and talking, the week overview because there's always just so much stuff going on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into our week 5 picks, 1 lock and 1 upset. Right now, I am doing an every other week where I'm really phenomenal, and then the next week I stink, and then I'm really phenomenal. So this is supposed to be my not so great week, but I kind of feel confident in these picks. I thought it was a little bit easy, but we'll see.
A little easier. The lock and the upset, I was a little.
That was my biggest challenge, but why don't you start first, and we'll see what we got.
All righty, so let's kick this off. So I am going with the Buccaneers, the Rams, the Bills, Steelers, Cardinals, Chiefs, Texans, Bengals, Panthers, 49ers, Giants, Browns, Patriots, Seahawks, and the Chargers. My lock is the Seahawks over the Vikings because the Vikings are not doing well. Yeah. And my upset is the Cincinnati Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens. You got a division game. Ravens are a phenomenal team, but I don't know. Joe Burrow got his first win. It's feeling hot in Cincinnati.
I mean,
I'm going for it.
They've played close games every single week.
I'm going for it.
Funny enough, I'll just reveal right off the bat it's my lock. Baltimore over Cincy. But again, it was hard to pick the lock and the upset. And I really, really like Joe Burrow and what he's doing with this team. This to me felt like the safest. I don't know. It was really hard to get a good lock. But I am taking, and we definitely had a lot of differences here. So
all right, I'm looking.
Maybe it wasn't as obvious of a week as I thought, but I am taking the Buccaneers, the Rams, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Ravens, the Panthers, Miami, the Cowboys. I knew Kaylin was still going to pick the Giants, even though we suck.
No, you know what? Last week I picked the Rams, so back off, Katie.
But I knew because it was Dallas.
Yeah, and Dallas kind of sucks. So do we. I think there's kind of a chance. It's going to be a dumpster fire both ways, but I think there's a chance.
The Colts, the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Saints. I will give you a spoiler alert. I will not take the Giants once this year.
Oh my God.
My upset.
We're going to go on like an 8-win streak. And I'm not taking them.
Sure. And then if I'm wrong, I'll be pleasantly surprised. It works in my favor. My upset, my husband's going to kill me. It's the second straight week I'm doing it. Miami over the banged up 49ers.
Well, I know your husband was upset last week, but I have to tell you, my boyfriend is very happy that you picked the Eagles. And he wanted me to tell you that he thinks Katie's a very smart girl for picking the Eagles.
Don't take that as like we bonded over that because we didn't. That was not a bonding.
I made sure he was aware of that, but he felt that way.
No. Let's set the record straight right here.
Wait, so what's your lock?
My lock was Baltimore over Cincy.
Oh, sorry.
All right, there we have it. We'll see what happens.
That's good. Gotta get all my notes together. Sorry. All righty, so we will come back to football in a short period of time, but let's go ahead and get into our real stories of the Real Housewives.
Yes.
They are real. We don't know actually with this first one. Could be rumor, could be real. We don't know. So Real Housewives of Orange County, newer star. She's moving into her second or third season, I believe. Braunwyn Wyndham Burke shuts down split rumor. So this is very interesting. I sent Katie a bunch of stuff on this because I was in the weeds on Instagram snooping. I was snooping here because I heard a lot of stuff. So on Sunday, the Real Housewives of Orange County star and her husband took off for a vacation in Puerto Rico. So Braunwyn posted a lot of pics on Instagram, the two of them, to help, everyone be like, shut up. We're not
good. We love each other. There's all these pictures on Instagram.
I think it's bullshit, to be honest. So they got married in 2000. They have 7 kids together. And if you guys watch the show, they have a very unique family. It's a very unique family dynamic as well. A lot of their kids are just, it's a very unique family. But I always liked their family. I thought it was, very interesting. But yeah, so rumors started last month when she promoted a co-parenting and divorce, a Zoom workshop on social media. So then that's when the rumors obviously started to swirl. You can't even say like one word on social media without people assuming things.
Yeah.
So, and then their second oldest daughter shared a caption. It was like her, like in like a bathing suit. It was like a modeling pic or whatever. And the caption was "F you, mom." Like, wow. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So it has now been deleted. The picture is still up, but the caption has been deleted.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first things I saw. So I found this girl on Instagram, was like looking at all this stuff, found the picture. But what wasn't deleted were the comments. So I snooped through the comments.
Yeah.
And while she deleted the "F you, mom" comment, caption.
Right.
All the comments were, "Oh my God, like I have divorced parents too. Like if you ever want to talk about it, like, you should see a therapist, you should do this. Like it's okay, like splitting parents, it's, whatever." So
she's 18 years old. She's a moody 18-year-old girl too.
Yeah.
And like if her parents are fighting, maybe she's taking a side. And
is that what kids do on social media these days?
But and I think that just leads to all the speculations and all the rumors and all the chatter.
That is true. So so she's been vocal about her unconventional marriage. So apparently they're like open. They're like swingers, I think. They're like open. They've had a threesome before. That's been very vocal. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel crazy. She has, gifted her husband threesomes for his birthday. That she cheated on him in the past and they've separated for a little bit. So they, it's a very, very unconventional.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So it's weird because I definitely, so I have two sides for this. I think that they are probably not together. Because it's funny too, because like during the season when she was first introduced to Orange County, they did go into their family, into their marriage, things like that. And it always seemed like they made time for each other, which is very important. Like when you have kids, when you start a family, you always have to revert back to like your husband and wife first.
7
like
kids.
So they always made time for themselves. Like they always like made sure they did date nights, Valentine's Day was a big thing for them. Like they always were doing whatever. They had their times apart too. I believe he traveled a lot for work. So she was with the kids a lot, things like that. But it always seemed like they had a good marriage. Then a lot of stuff came out about like the threesomes and the cheating, and I was like,
an interesting marriage.
Yeah. So like, is he truly happy because you allow another female in the bedroom? Because like to me, that's not real happiness. That's a little weird. So definitely unconventional. And I'm also on the side of things where like you do one thing on social media and the rumor starts. So she could have been promoting this for God knows what reason. It could have been because maybe she has friends who are divorced. Well, half the housewives in Orange County are divorced.
To promote it knowing that people were going to like read into
absolutely.
it. You know what I mean? I would have just been like, "Ooh, I can't do that." People are going to think like something's wrong with my marriage.
I'm also on that side too, because like, shit, like I don't want to post something on social media and someone to get the wrong impression.
Right.
Like, so I'm on that too. But again, I told you I dug into this real deep. I went real deep into this on social, and it seems not great. So
yeah, we'll keep you posted. I do believe like it is
we met Braunwyn
as I feel as though many celebrities do like try to save face in a way, and maybe things really aren't that great behind the scenes.
I would hate that.
But just trying to like prove like we're a united front. No, everything's good. Here's us on vacation in Puerto Rico, like holding hands and
they're famous too. So like people will question them or you won't. It's sad when it's in the real world and you know for a fact the people that you're looking at on Instagram aren't really happy, but they're posting to the world that they're the happiest, and you're just like, like
don't ever let other people's Instagram posts get you down.
Guys,
you don't ever know what people are really going through.
No idea.
But let's get into some more housewife rumors.
The rumors.
We've had so many casting rumors over these last couple of weeks
on
the show.
I'm kind of like emotionally drained about it.
There's always the rumors, always all these different celebrities that we hear about. And it is kind of like a tug and pull kind of thing. Like, getting people excited. Oh wait, like Andy Cohen shuts that down.
Yeah.
Like
I do love a couple of these rumors. Though.
I'm at least happy that for the most part, when you do hear these, like Andy somewhere somehow like vocalizes this is not true, and it's not just with casting rumors, but other things too, like things that have happened.
He jumps on
Dorinda being fired
very
because
quickly.
She said the thing about Tinsley with the turkey baster, and he was like, no, like just relax.
Yeah, he jumps on things very quickly,
which is good. On a Friday episode of Brandi Glanville's podcast, she was asked if she's still friends with any members of the Beverly Hills cast. She did confirm that she's friends with Kathy Hilton and that she's coming on the new season. Kathy is related to Kyle Richards. Obviously, she is Paris Hilton's mother.
Kyle Richards is Paris Hilton's aunt, if anyone didn't know that. Which is just so wild.
So I do have a quote from Brandi when she was on her podcast. She did say that Kathy is going to be a friend of. I think it's already out there, so I'm hoping I'm not spilling anything. I think that'll be interesting because it's always interesting to have a family dynamic. When Kyle and Kim were on, it's different. If you're going to fight with your family, that's real shit. So
absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, think about Teresa family drama. That's what I was going to say. Teresa, Melissa have brought even Kathy when she was on New Jersey, a cousin of Teresa's. A lot of like
the
family,
Manzos.
Right. So it does add a completely different dynamic for sure. And then on Thursday, Andy, like we just said, he shut down rumors on his Sirius XM radio show that Caitlyn Jenner and her business partner, Sophia Hutchins, will be joining Beverly Hills.
I loved it.
He says they have both really expressed interest in joining the cast to him. They've been posting things on social media, tagging him in it, like being really aggressive, which is like kind of embarrassing in a way, I think. But he said he has never formally talked to them, and he does not think it's a good idea to have them on the show.
We need Kris Jenner on
mainly because Kris Jenner is really good friends with Kyle Richards, and he just feels like having Caitlyn on might be like a weird thing.
We need Kris
Jenner. I'm open to that. Listen, the Kardashians are concluding their, decades long.
Not that she's the best momager in the game. Not that she's got.
But let her be a friend of. We gotta
get her on and get her on.
I would love it. But he shut that down. So we always just get the rumors swirling.
Get them all on.
And I don't know if Kathy is going to be a friend of or
Beverly Hills needs a makeover, in my opinion. It's beyond frustrating, and I think a lot of people can agree with me. I was frustrated 2 seasons ago with the whole Lisa Vanderpump thing, but I think this season everyone flipped out too with a lot of stuff going on. So, and now you've got Teddy gone, you have Denise gone, like you got to rebuild.
I think it's certainly been interesting, especially in Beverly Hills, where a lot of celebrities do live. I think this is such an interesting franchise. And when Denise Richards came on, it was kind of like people were really excited about it.
Celebrity.
Like we know who that is. Like we know what she's famous for. And people were really intrigued by that. Did it work out? No. Not just specifically her story and things she was dealing with. It didn't work out. But having somebody like Kathy Hilton, even the rumors about Caitlyn Jenner, about Kris Jenner, it kind of makes that Beverly Hills franchise exciting just to get the buzz going.
See what's going on.
Yeah, just to put feelers out and see like, could we potentially see another celebrity
normalize having I think we should all across all the franchises normalize having celebrities.
Another
Atlanta's done it.
Another rumor that Andy has shut down because I've heard it like year after year after year is Snooki. So he has said, I don't know where this always starts, but no,
she's not coming on New Jersey.
But
I heard it recently.
It's because I think she's like friendly with Melissa because I think they have shore houses by each other. But I think Snooki's probably done with reality. I mean, listen, she's not gonna be on Jersey Shore anymore, so why sign up for the Housewives? Like she wants to be with her family, and that would just be counterproductive. So those are big stories of the week in the world of Housewives. Let's play a little game.
Let's play a game. Getting into it. It is football.
I like this one.
Yeah, it is a good one. It is football related. So we are playing a game called NFL Fact or Fiction. So on Monday, NFL columnist Adam Shine.
I hate him. I literally hate him.
I know. Wrote an article on NFL.com deciding whether or not he believed the following 9 statements are fact or fiction. And we're going to do the same. And then at the end, we will tell you what he said.
Well, we can do it. We can do it one by one, and we'll give ours and say what he said for it.
So basically they are scenarios that can happen.
It's like a buy or sell, essentially.
But we're calling it fact or fiction. So it's funny that this article did come out, because I actually did see something similar. I forget where I did see it, the whole like fact or fiction thing. So I did think it was rather funny, rather ironic. So, but good game. So let's go ahead and get started. We have 9 scenarios for you. So the first one, the Browns will snap their 17 season playoff drought.
I like forget that it's been that long. Like I know like 17 is a long time. Like a long time. Like I was in high school.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But I'm going fiction on this one. And I did need to look at their schedule. They have a very easy schedule.
Yeah.
So if they do pull this off, it won't necessarily surprise me.
Yeah.
But we are having 7 teams now from each side make it.
Yeah.
And basically, I kind of looked at the AFC and I was like, here's 7 teams that I think will go before them. And that kind of gave me the answer. And I do think they're going to still finish 3rd in the division, which you could still finish 3rd and go to the playoffs now. But they will fall behind the Steelers and the Ravens. And I just don't think it's going to happen.
So I'm going to go with fact on this one.
Okay.
I am by no means on the Browns train. I'm not. I was pleasantly surprised to see them beat the Cowboys. I think they are. I think Baker's finally seeing Odell Beckham. I think he's even, seeing Jarvis Landry a little bit better. I think it just looks, Nick Chubb is a huge loss for them. But when you get him back though, more towards playoff time, agreed that there's more teams in the playoffs this year. I think that is one of the divisions where they can potentially send 3 people and
have the potential.
There's definitely the potential there. And I just, so I'm just gonna, because I can see it. I think the opportunity is there. So I'm going to go with fact on this one.
Well, Mr. Adam Shine agreed with you.
Did go with fact.
Yes.
So, All right. So number 2, the NFC East winner will not have a winning record.
That's so hard because then you're saying at best somebody goes 8-8. And it's happened where even 7 and 9 teams have gone, but it doesn't happen that often. This was a toss up, but I'm still going to go fiction. Yeah. I'm still picking Dallas to win this division with a 9-7 record.
What I've seen in the past 4 weeks is not impressive, and it's very scary. It's very terrifying. I'm going with fact on this one.
Ooh, okay. Well,
someone's going 8-8. Well, actually, I don't know. The Eagles technically can. So let's just bump them out of the running. Someone's going 8-8.
But that was an argument. So just Adam Shine, this is number 2. He is going fiction on this one. But technically, if the Eagles do win the division, an 8-7-1 record is a winning record.
Well,
so that's like a little asterisk there. Right. You know what I mean?
Hey, that could be it. It'll kill me, but it could be it. It'll literally kill me in my sleep, but it could be it. Number 3, Josh Allen is a top 3 contender for MVP.
Fact.
Hashtag fact.
Yeah, he's 2nd in pass yards right now, 3rd in passing touchdowns, and 3rd in total QB.
You have to be delusional.
And this team's 4-0, and he's like the main reason for it.
Kid knows how to run. Kid can launch rockets. Not even just launch rockets, complete rockets.
He kind of like reminds me of Big Ben in a way.
A little bit. I can see that. He's a better runner than
he is a better runner.
Yeah.
But Ben has always been like an underrated scrambler. I won't necessarily call him a runner, but he was always like a Houdini because people couldn't bring him down too, so he could keep plays alive. And he has a crazy arm.
Well, that's the thing too. I think Josh Allen's easier. Ben. Yeah, he's easier to take down too, because obviously Big Ben that's his name. Right. He's a big boy. But I think that's a great comparison. Yeah. All right, number 4.
Oh, and by the way, Adam went with fact.
Okay.
Cold hard fact on that one.
Yeah, straight up facts. Number 4, the Seahawks are the NFC favorites.
I picked them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl before the season started, and they are proving me confident in my decision. Fact.
There's a lot of hype too, though, around the Green Bay Packers right now.
They're looking real nice as well.
They are. I think it does come down to QBs leading the team, and to me, Russell Wilson is just outshining Aaron Rodgers in my opinion. So I'm going with fact.
I do actually. It's interesting that you bring that up because I do just want to say, like, if Josh Allen is in the top 3 contender, I feel like he's in there with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But I'm going fact. You went fact.
Yeah.
And Adam Shine went Fiction. I think he did. When I was reading his, I think he was
with the Packers.
More with the Packers. Yeah.
And I think
can
a
make
lot of people
arguments
are. Absolutely. Number 5, Tyrod Taylor should get his starting job back when healthy.
Fiction.
Justin Herbert, man. I know you brought this up before.
Yeah.
We say this week after week 2 because I think we're looking at a lot of new guys right now. And I said this on Sunday when I was watching him. He is one of those guys that I am truly going to be excited to watch over the next couple of years. You're not a fan of the Chargers. You're not, a big West Coast person, but you pick and choose the players that you watched and you want to see their career excel. He's one of those guys. Yeah. I didn't expect it going into the season after watching Hard Knocks.
Well, I don't think any of us expected him to play that early because obviously he went in due to an injury.
Be excited to watch him. That's more so what I meant.
He went in earlier than expected due to an injury. But the fact that he has been in and he has excelled and looked really good, what would be the point in going back?
No.
This kid is your future.
Yeah.
You know that. Tyrod Taylor knows that.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time. And it came earlier than any of us thought. But the fact that he's proving that he can handle that situation, there's no going back.
And sadly enough, we've seen this happen to Tyrod Taylor in the past.
He knew it was happening again.
But the thing that intrigues me the most with Justin Herbert is that when we watched Hard Knocks, a lot of the feedback given to him was that, listen, we can see when you make these tiny movements what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Imagine being placed in front of a defensive line in the NFL. They're going to see these tiny ticks and they're going to get you. They're really going to get you. He has been flawless.
Yeah.
There has been no movement. He is so cool, calm, and collective in the pocket.
Very poised.
You would never. So I think he really took that to heart.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he's been practicing because we saw during Hard Knocks the criticism that was given straight to his face during practice, during film, things like that, calling him out. And look where he is right now. Kid looks like, and of course he's throwing a couple picks, but that's some rookie mistakes. You got to get rid of that. You got to, put that, sweep it on the carpet and move on.
But really not throwing it any more picks than anybody else.
No.
Less picks
but
than a lot of people.
Picks they'll always bring up the picks.
Yeah. But Adam Schein, he went a hardcore fiction on this. He was like, no way. This is this kid's job.
I kind of went, mine was hardcore too, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so 6, New York football teams will own the first 2 picks of the 2021 draft.
I went with fact on this one.
Okay.
I do believe that there is the Jets and the Giants, and then the next worst is still like pretty far up from them. I do believe that they're in a league of their own with how bad they are both playing. The other winless teams, for example, are the Falcons and the Houston Texans. And I have way more faith in those 2 teams than I would ever have in the Jets and the Giants. I'm going fact on this.
Yeah, so I ended up doing, I went with fiction. And I explained this last week. While I do understand that, the Falcons and the Texans could potentially turn things around and maybe not, finish very, very poorly like the Giants and the Jets. When it comes to the Giants and the Jets are, again, this absolute, they're not even a dumpster fire at this point. They're a forest fire. It's absolutely uncontrollable. The blaze is out of control. No one can do a thing. The Giants are actually attempting to try things, to put the fire out, to move things around, to work things out. So I just don't see them falling that far down in the situation. And I know, listen, year after year, it's been like that. And I just don't see it this year. So
all right. Well, Adam went with fact on that one.
And I'm sure many people will.
I think America would.
Oh, my God. All right.
I knew you wouldn't agree. It's fine.
All right. So, number 7, the Texans are wasting Deshaun Watson.
If I could scream fact from the mountaintops, I would.
I actually went with fiction on this one.
Oh, my God. This was my easiest one.
Yeah.
Because
I thought about it. It wasn't,
Because I think, first off, right now, he's the most sacked quarterback right now. In 2018, he was the most sacked quarterback in the league. He's always at the tippy top, right? So he is a really, really, almost as bad as the Giants offensive line year after year after year. If Deshaun Watson had a good line, right?
Yeah.
He is a player who is similar to Patrick Mahomes and similar to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And he would be on their level if he had better people around him. They are wasting his talent.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I 100% get that. And obviously, Adam.
And they got rid of Hopkins.
I know, but I'm not. it ties me to the Saints too. Why is the fact that they're being so shady right now? Because Michael Thomas has been hurt the past couple. I can't have it rely on one player. I can't have the Texans, shame them for being so poor and so bad and wasting Deshaun Watson's career because you traded away DeAndre Hopkins. That's not how it works. That's not how the NFL works. It's not how teams work, in my opinion. So was he that good because he had one person to go to?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
if he was really that talented, we'd see. I know. I 100% agree with you on certain.
There's only and it's the same reason why Saquon Barkley is one of the best running backs in the league, and he can't do shit because he has a bad line.
No,
you're wasting Saquon's talent.
Yeah.
Nobody can run behind that line. Patrick Mahomes can't play behind the line of the Texans. Neither could Lamar Jackson.
No.
Deshaun Watson is being wasted.
I just think that I think he fits within the Texans organization, though. So
absolutely. So put the people around him.
Yeah. So okay. So number 8, the Bears have the worst QB situation in the NFL.
Man, I had to look at each team one by one and be like, okay.
Mine is I went with in the moment right this second.
Okay, so I went with fact, just because you do have a situation. There's situations like, for example, even though I don't think he's that bad, Miami's got Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it's not a bad situation because you did draft Tua. Like, eventually that's where you're going, right? So that's not a bad situation. You have your future. There's no future here with these two quarterbacks because they're veterans. You've seen what they are, and they're not the long-term answer. So to me, that is the worst case scenario because you will have to get a new quarterback. You will have to draft somebody. You will have to pick somebody up in free agency. It is the worst situation, I believe.
So I went with the worst situation, like right this second.
San Fran?
That's who I went with. So I actually looked at it that way. And I get the long term. Maybe I should have looked at it long term because this makes sense. But listen, Nick Foles is a phenomenal backup quarterback. But that's why
that's the key word, backup.
But that he's going in, he's doing his thing right now. He's listen, you have to go in now and make a change. He's got to make a change. That's what Nick Foles does for organizations. That's what he's been known to do. You weren't going to start him week 1. He's not a starter. But moving forward, he is now because he's going in. He's a backup player. For me right now, you have a 49ers team. I'm very unsure of when Jimmy Garoppolo is going to come back. Hopefully it's soon because
I think it'll be soon.
But you have a guy like Nick Mullins who comes out and acts like he's Joe Montana against the New York Giants, and then he's trash and gets benched in the second, against the Eagles. So to me,
currently, right now,
so I went off of that.
So we did differently.
But that might be the scenario again next week or the week after when we don't know when Jimmy G is coming back. Yeah. So I took it that way. If I looked at it long ways, like
long term,
Hello, Katie.
Hi, Nico.
Hello, Nico.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, Daddy won't like what Caitlin just said about the 49ers.
It's okay. A wise man once told me, aka Nate, saying that he doesn't get paid to care. So he was
the attitude maybe we all need to have.
He was like, they make the big bucks, Caitlin, you do not. So one day when you're getting paid millions of dollars to be a fan, yes, you can
on a Sunday, I'm just eating pizza and drinking beer and watching football. Like they're not paying.
Living my best life. It is a good life though. I'll take the life. All right. And then finally, number 9. Oh, and sorry, Adam went with fact on that one. So he did agree with you. Number 9, the Ravens are no longer the AFC's second best team.
Fiction. Yeah. I know that they haven't, I'm still terrified of that team. I think everybody should see them on their schedule.
What are you going to put the Bills in their spot?
So the only other 2 teams that I feel you could make arguments for, even though I'm not, because I don't agree with it, is the Steelers and the Bills right now. Yeah. They're both playing really well. Yeah. And they look nice. But I'm still way more intimidated and scared of that Ravens team than I am the Bills and the Steelers.
100%.
And I love the Bills right now. I think they're looking phenomenal.
I'd love to see a Bills-Ravens match. It's you know what I mean?
The Ravens are off to a slower start than people would think, but still,
their slow start is a lot of people's hot start.
Yeah, so for real.
That's a start I'd like to see. So.
And Adam Shine said fiction as well.
I think that was an easy fiction. Yeah. So I think people might want to jump the gun and say fact there, but I don't know. I disagree.
No, I think a lot of people still have faith and belief in that team.
True that.
All righty. Well, that was a good game.
That was a good one. It was fun.
And we are now going to get to the point in our night where we get it off our chest. Positive, negative, housewives, football, life, all that good stuff or bad stuff. Why don't you start us off?
All right, I'm getting
fired up.
Fired up. I gotta take a sip of wine.
Take a sip of wine.
As my coaster gets stuck to my wine
Not
glass
well.
every week. Well, I'm going to start off with a positive. The outfit I wore during the game last week was fire.
Okay.
Was fire. I posted it to Twitter. So
yes, I saw.
Go look at the Twitter. I did post it to our Instagram
pants
too. So they are actually retro. They are my dad's from like
pants.
way back in the day. And a lot of people are probably like, those are Bill's pants. They're not actually. Well, those are very
those
popular.
like Lawrence Taylor pants.
Yeah. So they are not. And they have the Giants logo on them. They were like my dad's from like the late 80s, I think. And how they fit me, I don't know. We'll just say that my dad was V skinny back in the day.
Okay.
But they're great pants. And my outfit was on fire. Clearly, though, later in the day was not fire. The Giants lose, and they get into a scuffle after the game.
Right.
If you were watching Fox, what you saw was 5,000 people in a scuffle. You do not see one or two people scuffling or whatever. Right. So obviously I'm pissed off because the Giants sucked a big one, like another week in a row.
It's already a bad day to begin with.
It was already a bad one. I was not happy.
Yeah.
I was standing up the entire game, I think, because I was sweating. I was not okay. I was drunk probably because I do. I'm not well. So I'm seeing this scuffle at the end of the game, and I'm seeing guys like Gates and other people like lineman Hernandez really getting angry. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you can't defend Daniel Jones like that, but you can go fight a Rams player after the game. Like, okay. Gates also like picked a fight with Aaron Donald during the game. Like, let's relax. It's Aaron Donald.
I
like,
kind of like that.
He will eat you.
He got but he got the penalty on that. And if he had gotten one more, he would have gotten thrown out of the game. I
know.
Take one for the team.
I know.
Get him to cause another fight with you.
Literally,
I was cool with it.
He will eat you. But like,
take one for the team. Sacrifice. Sacrificial lamb.
So we're seeing a scuffle with 5,000 people. So I took to the Twitter. The commentators were also pissing me off. I took to the Twitter many times to bitch about the commentators. They were not good. Very awful commentating during that game. Mm-hmm. And so I finally took at the end of the game to the Twitter, and I did a video about how pissed I was that our team gets into this scuffle. And clearly the caption, and in my video, I say, I do not know who started this or why it started, but I'm just so angry that there's so much fight and there's so much energy out there right now. And I saw absolutely nothing during the game.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, who started the freaking fight was Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey, because they have their off-field drama with baby mamas and all this crap. And it's Golden Tate's sister, and Jalen Ramsey cheated on her and is leaving her, and she was pregnant and all this stuff. I could give two shits about what that has
nothing to do with football.
Has nothing to do with football. I know about that drama, all that stuff.
I mean, if you want to hit him extra hard on the field or something like that.
Jalen Ramsey did hit Golden extra hard. Yeah. So he put it out on the field. Golden didn't do shit. Yeah. No one else did shit during the game. So now we're here at the end of the game. There's a scuffle, 5,000 people. I tweet this out. I gotta tell you, I think my video is at over 10,000 views. I got literally nailed to the cross. I got torched. And I've been torched on social media many a times before. This is probably the worst one.
Really?
And I went after Tim Tebow one time, and his audience is, don't ever go after Tim Tebow.
I would go after Tim Tebow.
Yeah, don't. They'll get you.
They'll get you. Twitter or Tebow lovers. The Twitter world.
The Twitter Tebow lovers. The tweeters love the Tebow. The Tebow tweeters, they'll get you. Those Jesus-loving freaks, they will get you. They got me. They were rough. That was a rough crew.
I love it.
But so this crew is even worse. So it was one of a huge, actually, sports Twitter actually retweeted me and told me to stay in my lane. And they were like, you have no idea what's going on between Jalen and Golden. I was like, well, actually, I do.
I forgot about it. Like, I because it was like once before, but like,
it was a summer. It was last summer.
I don't pay attention to that because it doesn't have to do with football.
No.
So the fact that people were trying to be like, well, you got to know the back. Well, why do I care about that?
I don't care about that. I care about your stats, what you're going to do for my team, not your background bullshit with your family. So I got dragged by a really popular sports account. So cool, you're not tweeting about sports. Maybe you guys should get kicked off Twitter. So got dragged there. A lot of people in there were just calling me stupid, a girl, told me to get back in the kitchen, all this, a lot of stuff.
That's terrible.
A lot of people were sliding into my original post saying oh, this is family drama. You stay out of it. Okay. So again, back to my original tweet. I literally say, I don't know who started this or why, because what I saw on Fox,
and it was such an initial reaction too. Like you tweeted it like almost immediately.
And Fox came out like later and like people were talking about it that Fox cut the part where Golden and Jalen went at each other at half field.
Yeah.
So we only saw as fans everyone together.
Right.
So and then I sent a picture. I actually tweeted a picture like the next day because someone was like, "Holy crap! I saw all these people come at you." I go, "This is what I saw on TV. Please,
you can't.
Golden Tate's in the background.
You can't pick anybody apart."
No. And I was just like, really? So honestly, everyone who came after me on Sunday, I know that social media is a deep, dark hole of shitty people. You all suck. I don't belong in the kitchen. Well, I do. I'm a phenomenal cook. But we're here for a reason. We've been doing this for over 2 years for a reason. 130 episodes for a reason. So suck it. I'm going to continue to say my opinion and literally shut the hell up. So
now listen, let me just say that if there were Giants fans, people coming after you, we're all in pain, people. Let's stick together during hard times.
Seriously.
Like, some kumbaya stuff. Like,
I think one Giants fan did come after me. Like, screw you.
Like, let's just be there for each other during hard times.
We're suffering enough. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So sorry, that was my big old BS.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I wish I could defend you on the Twitter, but the Twitter world is
from our account.
Another world that I don't.
It's not.
I show up every once in a while.
I sneak in, not during the hard times.
No.
She lets me deal with the hard times. Like I did. I tell them very hard times.
All right, I'm gonna keep mine like positive and very light, and it was just like.
A good one.
A super random thought that I had today, not even specifically trying to think of get it off my chest. It just was a thing that popped up. And I was thinking, my God, like we've seen Andy Cohen on our TV screens. I mean, since 2007, 2008, like when Housewives was all going on, because he's been there from the beginning. He's hosted the reunions. And obviously he has Watch What Happens Live. We see him everywhere, and he has a very public life
every day.
He's very active on social media. Like I have never seen Andy with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which if you think about that, then that's like a decade, like a little over a decade of him being in the public eye. And we've never even heard whispers or rumors.
Well, I think Anderson Cooper was always a whisper.
But that's like his biffle. Like that's his BFF.
And like John Mayer, but I think that's just like
that's another
bromance.
It's a hope and these are bromances because that's literally all we have to go off of is his bromances, because we've never heard anything else. I read one of his books. He talks about like going out on dates and everything, but like there's never been anybody serious.
Yeah.
And certainly if there was, the world would see it and hear 100%. It and know it. So I would really love to see Andy like get his own little Bravo dating show, because I would so love to watch it. I was actually recently talking to my cousin and I was telling him, like, you know who's a hunk? I was like, Andy Cohen. I was like, Andy Cohen's a babe. Like he really is. He's and I get it.
Daddy, like literally we all call him daddy.
He has a baby right now. And I'm sure like dating isn't really necessarily on his priority list. Being a dad and being the daddy of Bravo.
The daddy.
He works, has a child, has a baby. And I get that maybe again, it's not on his top of the priority list. But Andy, like, has it ever been on the top of your priority list? Like maybe you're just concentrating on work too much. Like enter this next phase of your life and like share it with somebody.
Maybe he just feels like everyone on Bravo is his significant other. Males, females.
But they're all women.
No, so all the Southern Charm guys, Below Deck guys. He's got the New Jersey men,
but they're all straight. So it's like,
but maybe he just feels that he's in a relationship with all of them. He's so emotionally attached.
But that's being in a relationship with your job. So I feel like you need to like. I would really, really, really.
Well, wouldn't you be? We're emotionally invested to the Housewives as like for a couple of franchises.
Yeah,
he's dealing with all of Bravo. He's got to be so emotionally
I get it.
Invested.
And again, that's why I'm saying I don't know. I think maybe the issue is that he doesn't have time for it.
Maybe he sees a lot of sick shit.
You have to keep in mind, Watch What Happens Live films every single night, and it goes on at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Like he's not out there like roaming New York City going on dates. Like he's getting ready to do a show every single night. But at some point, like I would love to, like I would die if I like popped on the Instagram one day and saw him like with a boyfriend. I would be so happy. So Andy, like we just want to make sure you're happy, and I would love to see you in love. So
I want to see him in love as well. Yeah. I know he's in love with Ben. Ben, but we all love baby Ben. They're so cute together. The two of them, honestly. But even like recently, it was National Boyfriend Day, and like Bravo did this whole thing about like, Andy is everyone's boyfriend.
Our boyfriend.
He's all of our boyfriends.
I know.
I tell people that Andy Cohen's my boyfriend.
I love him. I love him so much. I love you, Andy.
I agree. If you're watching, hopefully
you totally are.
That's what gets us all ideas from. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, listening this episode. Yeah. Totally loved it. Loved y'all. Thank you guys so much. So do not miss if you are listening live right now or, whenever you are listening. Mm-hmm. On Sunday, you have Real Housewives of Potomac at 9 p.m. Orange County's season 15 premiere is only 1 week away. It's good.
We need more franchises on TV.
Yeah, it's good. And you're going to see a little bit of like the COVID filming. There's a lot of unique stuff in Orange County this season. So definitely, probably, I'll definitely tune in. I know I take my hiatuses from them, but definitely interested in seeing that. Thursday night football is Tampa Bay at Chicago. Sunday night football, the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. And Monday night football, you have the Chargers at the Saints. So do not miss out. Thank you guys so much again for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
The damn coaster. It always gets stuck, the condensation. But thank you guys. Cheers.
Bye.